Well, hello everyone, and welcome to another round of the 60 Plus Racing Adventures. Actually, the final round of the 15th championship season for this series. This week coming to you from Nurburgring Nordschleife, incredibly historic racetrack located in Germany, originally built in 1927. The circuit is currently 20.8 kilometers or 12.9 miles long. Officially listed with 73 turns, but if you ask me, it's more like 173. Right at 1,000 feet of elevation change in the racetrack from the lowest to the highest point. Incredibly historic, incredibly popular, incredibly challenging. That is the Nurburgring Nordschleife, known as the Green Hell by Sir Jackie Stewart. You can see why from the lush green forest that it runs through. In this shot, we're looking at one of the more famous turns on the circuit. That is the carousel. You can see up at the top of the shot. Another popular point on the circuit, Flugplatz, which is popular because the cars, especially during the 60s and 70s when Formula One was racing at this circuit, jumped quite high. This is actually a pretty moderate jump. It's Jackie Stewart in the BRM in 1966. And here's a shot just to give you a sense of the elevation. Again, 1,000 feet from the lowest to the highest point. So you're climbing, you're going up and down, you're falling for great lengths at high speeds. Incredible racetrack. And I'm looking forward to racing it. Again, this is the last round of the championship for this season. Each race consists of 2 races. This is the first race of the 2 here at the Nordschleife. I'm starting 6th in the number 49, the yellow car with the green accents. That's based on the Lotus colors in the number 49 because I very regularly race the Lotus 49 here on iRacing. So you got to represent. All right, so on the pole, Paul Stump in the teal and green car. Maybe I don't think it's teal. I don't know what color that is, Paul. Sorry. But Paul ends up winning the second race, but he had some problems here in the first round. He ended up 4th in the championship after it was all said and done, with 1 win on the season. We'll talk about some of the other players, including the champion of the series this year, who will play prominently in this broadcast because he and I had the battle royale, and I can honestly say, no question, this was the most fun, the most challenging, and most tense race I've ever done on my 10 years of racing in iRacing. And I just loved it. That's why I'm looking forward to seeing it again. So here we go. Not a very good place to start here at the Nordschleife, so things get kind of strung out really quick. People just being careful because it's such a mess at the beginning with all these cars. 36 cars in this race. And, the track's pretty narrow, so it's risky to go just too wide. You see that, especially in these higher speed sections, it's a real risk. Unless you can trust the people around. It's Leroy Kopich in the green car just ahead of me. Leroy is actually after these races is the champion in the Super 70 series. And 60 plus is for drivers 60 years and older. And a sub-championship for drivers 70 years and older. Ends up being the champion of the Super 70s for season 15. Fastest part of the racetrack through this section. I should say second fastest. It's just not the same speed. He topped the car out. He hits the rev limiter in this section, which is called Nurburgring. Steeply downhill, very steeply. This video again doesn't do elevation justice. And then into one of the trickier sections of the racetrack. Now Forest, I believe, is this called. I'm going to massacre his German name so you guys forgive me. Right behind Leroy Kopech, who is the Super 70s champion, is the driver who will lock down 60-plus overall championship, Russ Addy. Russ and I were, as I said, very prominent. That's Russ's car there. There's Leroy's car. Leroy also ended up 5th overall in the overall championship, so he may be in his 70s, but he is super quick. Go up to the front here. That's Donald Fitterer. 18th car. Don ended up 7th in the championship with 2 wins. Just ahead of him is David Costello. David usually right up near the sharp end of the field. And as I said, our pole sitter Paul Stump pulling away. So Leroy, a little timid at the start, probably just because he knew there were championship implications on him. That kind of dropped us a ways behind these guys. Since they're working together in the draft, they're going to slowly pull away from us. Especially considering that Leroy is not going to give this up without a fight. And he and I go at it big time a little further along in this race. And allow this front three to get moved. Coming up to the carousel now. Again, it's super easy to damage the front wing coming into this, and you'll see why in a minute, is you have to drop into it. And I actually dropped in a little too high just then. And that may be where I got damaged and eventually cost me the race win, in my estimation. It caused me to try to run some tactics that I didn't know about. But we'll talk about that when it happens. So right now, you can see that Russ Addy is getting after it. Russ knows coming into the event that as long as he finishes, I believe, in the top 12, I think it was, that he would lock up the championship. So keeping that in your mind, it's quite surprising to me how hard Russ raced me. But also keep in mind that he did know that he had another race coming up after this one where if he didn't lock the championship down here, he could go with up. Coming down to Flant's Garden now, that's that jump down in there. It's a jump because you will catch air even on this car with this high downforce car down into Flant's Garden occasionally. This is one of my favorite sections of the track, Flant's Garden onto the long straight. There's a mini carousel that catches a few people out in this race. It's not unusual at all for people to caught out by the mini carousel. Alright, so coming on to a super important corner because it leads on to a ridiculously long straightaway. And we're going to see Leroy try to take advantage of that, but you're also going to see, I think, that Leroy already had damage here, because normally with that kind of run he should have gone by me. The only other solution is that because he didn't have two cars together like Russ and I did just then, that he was not able to continue to start. There you go. That's what I meant by I was surprised that Russ, knowing he had the championship on the line here, just stuffed it in there 3 wide and then kept it right beside him. Arguably the second hardest and most difficult section of the racetrack that we just finished there. So back to start and finish, that little black patch right there basically is where the finish line is. See how the guys in the front are doing. So Costello has been passed by Fitterer, if my memory serves me right. I believe Donald Fitterer was actually 3rd. Forgive me, I'm wrong about that. Paul Stump still hanging on to the front. In fact, pulling away at the front as it comes across floodplains. Such a fun part of the track here as well. Everything's fun. I love this racetrack. Alright, here we go. Again, we're as fast in this section of the racetrack as anywhere on the track. The cars are absolutely on the rev limiter. And again, I was just shocked that Russ deep on the brakes. I fully expected him to back out of that and let me in. He didn't do it. So Leroy is like, what is this right guy doing? Get out of the way. I did know that Russ was the championship leader. I did not know that Leroy had the championship on the line in this race as well. So Leroy, if I was a frustration to you, my apologies, sir. I was just determined to stay up with Russ because I felt like I had the pace to be at least with him. Go to the next camera, see what that view's like. I apologize to the other drivers here as the rest of the field gets spread out pretty quickly, and with the exception of very few instances, there's really not a lot of racing to be done. And since the race between Russ and I was so incredible, that's what I'm looking at. Let's go back up to the front. Aha! Costello has gotten back by Fitterer, so probably just like us, they're using that really fast section on these high downforce cars to make some big moves. Super important here as you head up the hill, so if you get a bad run off of that corner, which is oh no, that's Ehrenberg there, I'm sorry, and then this is Adenau Forest. We're heading up now. Anyway, super steep uphill. If you remember the graphic showing the elevation, this is where you're really super steeply driving uphill. So that corner, probably one of the more important corners on the track. Not probably, no question. All right, just Costello. So I'm in there, right? Yep, David Costello. Under pressure as they make their way back to the carousel. Now, see Costello next to that big dump in there. You saw how David Fitterer entered right on the bottom. I'm almost sure that Costello just damaged his front wing, and we'll find out the next time he hits a long straight. Keep an eye on these guys. they've been through some pretty quick sections, and David's still gap up a little bit, so he might have got away with that one. Front's guarding again. Russ got a big run off that section. I don't know if Leroy was purposely staying behind me so that we would draft back up to Russ or not. I would suggest probably, unless he did figure out that he has damage and he's not going to go by me anyway. Yeah, I'm starting to think maybe that's the case, is that he did have damage and that's why he wasn't able to get by us. But we'll find out in a minute if he goes back by me on the street. Back up to the front, a bunch of people in the pits, a lot of people in the pits. Donald Fitterer trying to reel in David again. Problems for Paul out there. Alright, I'm going to stay on this because I'm pretty sure that Russ and I get side by side every single lap through I can't remember the name of that section, but I'll figure it out. Alright, here we go across floodplains again. Draft, initially I got a really good boost, but as soon as I pulled out, my car would just stall. And that gave Russ the confidence to just keep his foot in it. Let's see what Greg is up to back here. Oh no, that's John there. That's John. How fast those cars are through that section. That's like anything else on this place. Back up here. Try another camera. Let's head down to the slowest corner on the circuit. Hairpin. Then we're heading down to the lowest section of the track. Now we start back up the hill. Well, no, I take that back. This is not the lowest section of the track. But it is at the bottom of a very long, very steep. That's not much of a view, is it? probably because you might notice that Greg's catching up to us. He's fighting. Mistake out of Leroy there, but not a big one. Back up to the front. It seems to me that these guys are catching up to Paul Stumper. Shot makes it look like the gap's much bigger than it actually is, but no question Rush is putting some time on us, so I'm sure Leroy is now getting very concerned, because if you get more than about a second and a half, oh, Leroy makes a big mistake into the wall. That's a shame. Oh, we got somebody else around. That's somebody having a bad day there. Alright, so I'm close enough here that I think we're going to figure out something. We're working lap number 3 right now, so it'll be 3 to go next time we go past start finish. And pull out again. Let's see if I actually make it this time. That's what I thought. This is the lap when I realized that I had some sort of damage and I was not going to be able to pass him on the last lap. Because normally at this racetrack, all I would do is sit right behind Russ, and on the last lap I would just draft behind him. It's almost why this place can be a little anticlimactic, depending on how aggressively someone will block. This is a very sporty group of drivers, so I'd be shocked if anybody would. But, so I started having to try to figure out, okay, what are my options? Really, the only ones I had were harass Russ to the point that he makes a mistake. And so that's what I'm trying to do in my mind. Because I knew if I couldn't force him into a mistake or something, my only chance was going to be get by him and pull away from him through the infield, so that he did not have, here we go again. See, as soon as I pull out beside him, I just stall there. Well, maybe not this time. Did I get I guess I didn't. I got up beside him, but again, man, he was so like, because I knew this championship was on the line. I just wasn't going to push it on there too hard. Alright, so as my memory serves me correctly, at this point I have determined, okay, I've just got to harass him and make him make a mistake, or figure out where to get a second and a half on him through the infield so that he doesn't have enough draft to get to him in the final lap. So I'm pretty sure this is the lap that I start diving in and out of his mirrors on both sides of the car. Yeah. Now see, I start weaving back and forth, just trying to rattle him. I don't think it's wrong. Let's go up front. So Donald, without the D, is all alone, as is Paul Stump, and Paul is just pulling away. Let's see how far ahead he is. Well, it's not that far ahead. They're not that far ahead of us either. Let's go back and see what we got here. There's Greg. So Greg's right there with us. Yeah, so you can probably see Greg coming out. Here I am again. Just trying to get in his head. We'll go scroll around some different cameras. Not those. Some overhead stuff. Alright, now this is at the bottom of the hill. You know why they call it the Green Hell. I actually think I may get by him here, if I remember right. Because again, I've decided I've got to figure out how to go super quick through the infield, because it's my only hope of finishing ahead of him. At this point, I didn't have any idea before the race went. So for whatever reason, I just must have got a much better run on the corner coming to this. I was able to get by Russ. See, that's how you're supposed to enter that thing with this car, because otherwise... And I did not do that on the first lap. I got in there and forgot. Greg's sticking right there, man. I'm surprised. And it's just because Russ and I are fighting so hard. He's able to stay close to us. Excuse me. Forgive me, I just had lunch, and so I guess I shouldn't have that soda before I did this. Huh? We're heading up toward Flot's Garden. See? I'm going to do a different camera. Yeah. Boy, it doesn't look like much in that shot. Super fast section here. Just right. Cost you a lot of time. Looking back at Russ. Those 8 places. Excuse me. Alright, we'll drop back to Russ and see what it's like. Commentators in the broadcast thought that I was coming out of there and going to the right because I was doing a tactical maneuver, but the reality was there was a huge bump. If you went all the way out to the left coming off of that right, I was afraid I was going to damage the undertray. So I was avoiding it. See how fast he went by me? I mean, that was just depressing. It really was. 10 miles an hour, if both the cars are not damaged, the draft is worth about 10 miles an hour. So it's 16 kilometers an hour, something like that. Now, he made a mistake right there, or so the commentator said. I wasn't sure if he wasn't giving me that spot back, because we are now working lap 5 of 6. So it doesn't make sense that he gave it to me on this lap. In fact, I'm going to make a point of asking him about that, if that was a mistake, or if he was just trying to feel the waters. For me, it worked out great, because it gave me a chance to see, could I drop him? So I'm going to be pushing super hard here. Uh-oh, I don't know if anybody noticed, but that's stump right ahead of us. So something has happened. Yep. Donnell Fitterer is now in the lead. And I know from watching the broadcast that Paul Stone had a spin coming out of the mini carousel. And not only did he spin, I see, look at this. Yeah, on that super fast section, Russ just went right by him. So I knew I'm in trouble. Hadn't completely given up yet. But we'll see how fast we catch Paul here, because not only did he spin, but he had some damage from the Armco barrier. So we're going to go blasting by him. He was really nice. He told us just to wait for a second and he would let us by in a clear spot. For that, Paul, was a classy move. And all this. He's right there. Look at that. Oh yeah, he's coming. This ain't helping that Paul's slowing us down. I think this is where he pulls over. He says, "Okay, you guys." Yeah. It's surprising how Russ been behind him this long. Russ's head again. And Greg is getting close. I did not realize how close he got. Also, I want you to note that we just saw Donald Fitterer in the shop. We'll soon find out is that he's down on top speed. I guess this is where we look at it. This is where he says, "You guys take it." He wasn't down much. Paul Stone on top end, but once we get clear of him, maybe just a little bit, you see the effect of being alone with damage. If I had not been able to stay with Russ, I would have had the exact same situation. If he had gotten a gap and I wasn't able to use his draft, he would have just stormed away from me, because I was down, like I said, I think if I remember right, it was 4 or 5 kph damage. See, and we're almost to Donald now. Maybe it's Donald's the one that says he's going to let us by. CSR, no, CRS. I can't even remember that. So working lap 5 of 6. Go to the next camera. Yeah, that's who it was. It was Fitterer. He ends up letting Paul back by as well. Not sure if he meant to do that. Well, that's Greg by 2. So Donald must have had some serious damage, because he just pulled over and let us all go. Hey, you can see the car's actually getting a little air there off of Flint's car. So this is now for the race win, and I'm kicking myself for not being more careful. I'm not sure it happened on that first lap, but for sure I got some damage. And just point of information, after the race was over, I went and used the cameras in the replay here to look the car over, and I could not find any damage anywhere on the car. We just saw Russ make a mistake coming out of the mini carousel. That allowed me to close right up on him, just to reinforce that I'm a sitting duck. Anyway, not 100% sure that's where I got the damage, but I'm pretty sure because I just don't see anywhere else on the track where I did anything that should have caused damage. And but this once again is going to reinforce that I got nothing for him. So frustrating. I'm thinking, okay, if I'm in here, I'm just going to shove it in. He's going to back out because he's the championship leader and he wants to lock the championship. But I'm still going to take one more shot at him. Pass float plots. Not really fast. At the end of the race, I call this a soaker because I am literally soaking wet right now. I mean, even though we're in our air conditioning rooms with our sim rigs, it's a lot of effort doing this, and I'm literally drenched at this point in the race. See, I'm much closer than I have been just because I am determined to get by. But I pull out and it stalls. Now I had him here and again, I just couldn't let myself go in there because I'm like, okay. In fact, I even wrote this in a reply on the forums that going in there I thought, okay, I can either finish second and have an incredible memory and an incredible replay to watch, or I can shove it in here and crash us both out. So that was one reason I backed out right there. For sure I had the corner, but going in there, I was thinking, okay, you're going to crash the leader. See, here again, I'm trying to get in his head. You're going to crash the points leader. You're going to ruin this beautiful race that we've had.
Depends on where you go off.
I'm going to start hearing some drivers talk now because I still have 2.5 minutes to go.
Could be worse.
That's talking 7 minutes and 5 minutes.
Yeah.
These guys get chastised by me. He says, hey, we're still racing here. I had that turned off because there was quite a bit of chatter in this race, which is fairly unusual for this one. But I did want you to get the comments at the end of this run. Now again, I'm desperate to get by him because unless I can get by him and open up a gap, I'm done. Super steeply uphill here. The thing about video, it just doesn't do justice to elevation on these things. So Russ blocked pretty well, not blocked, but he definitely made it plain he did not want me to go by him. But I shoved it up the inside on that one just because I felt confident that we had room to go. And now I'm doing my best to defend. But at the same time, I'm thinking I have got to open a gap up here, so I can't waste time with shallow entries and those kinds of things. I've got to get a gap. A little bit of one there. I've been quicker than him on the exit of that carousel almost the whole race. And again, I opened up a nice little gap. Clipped the curb there, that hurt me big. Put me out of of position and got me out of position there as well. I'm starting to climb the curves a little bit in this section, but that's not because I'm making mistakes, it's because I'm trying to get every last car. Most of these curves you can't even touch them at all because it's slower in this car. But there are a few places you can run just across the edge of the curve and it actually gives you a bit of a boost. So I've got a pretty good run through there, but I know that right now from flat start here on, if I don't get it absolutely perfect, these guys. There as Russ blended in and out. I don't know if that was him or me. See how hard I'm pushing it. He made a mistake coming out of there. And I remember I had like 7/10 and I started I was like, nah. It's not a 7.5, it's all over. Again, those guys thought I did that tactically, but again, I'm just missing a huge bump out there on the left. Look at Greg, man. He was right there at the finish. And look at Paul, man. He hung in there as well. I didn't realize how close these guys were at the end. So I'm thinking, should I start weaving back and forth, just not to block, but just to break the draft? And I decided, nah, it was a beautiful race. Just thought about shoving it in, but nah. Kept hoping for that mistake all the way right up to the end. Even here, I was trying to push him out. Didn't work. Fantastic race, though.
Okay, Bill, that was the best race I think I've ever had. Good job. Wow. Wow.
Yeah, that was incredible.
Oh, my goodness. It's what I call a soaker. Well done, guys.